Hey y'all, welcome back to our kitchen in beautiful Lafayette, Louisiana. This is Wendy Bagneau with the Gluten-Free Bakery Yum Y'all, and my friend Bob Lemaire, who I have forced into service as a corn shucker with Louisiana fresh corn. Today we are making for you a corn and crawfish Maque Choux. So we've got a fun episode, but there is a little prep involved, and this is a good thing to teach your kids how to do.
So, this will make a man out of you.
That's it, or something. It'll make something.
Yeah. You're Miss Wendy.
Thank you.
And boy, she's doing a great job of cutting up this corn. Corn Maque Choux. Yeah, where does the name come from?
So Maque Choux, I think isn't it a Native Indian word? Yeah, because so. When the Acadians were forced out of Acadie in Canada, in Nova Scotia, they went to different parts of the United States, and they had no choice, and they weren't asked, hey, where do you want to go? They were put on a boat and sent out. And some of them were killed. So many came to South Louisiana. So that's where the Acadians come from. That's why they call them Acadians, because they came from Acadie or Acadia in Canada. Now we're here, but they needed help, and the Native Americans were very helpful, helped them survive that first time when they first got here. And they survived by cooking meals like this, which is in the spring when the corn was fresh and the peppers were growing and the onions, and they had everything, they would make a Maque Choux. And so that's what we're working on right now. Now, I'm cutting this corn.
And I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
Thanks,
bye,
Wendy.
Bob. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
So I'm cutting corn off the cob right now, and I'm not getting rid of these cobs. I'm putting them right here on my board, and we're going to continue. I want you to notice, I am not doing this with cutting it, because when you do this and the kernels fly everywhere and you find them a year later stuck to the ceiling, don't do that. Cut one side off. We put it flat on our board, make a claw with your hand, go down with your knife, and cut just the kernels, okay? Don't worry if the whole thing doesn't come off or whatever. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these cobs and put it down in the pot, and it's gonna cook the corn milk out. 5 ears of corn. I've got my cast iron skillet. You need a cast iron skillet. Don't ever put it in the dishwasher. If Louisiana people put a cast iron skillet in the dishwasher, we get our Louisiana card taken away, so we know not to do that. It will completely rust your skillet. There is a way to come back from that, but you have to know how to do it. And it involves high heat and oil, some prayers, luck, maybe some magic outside, I don't know. But just don't put it in the dishwasher. Scrub it really clean. And you can buy these things that look like chainmail, and they can help scrub it too. It's the best way to use. So we're gonna go in with some olive oil, and that's probably, 2 tablespoons. It's just enough to really coat the bottom of my skillet and leave a little bit extra. So what I have here is diced bacon. And what that's gonna do is give us a really unctuous, kind of fatty underpinning to the Maque Choux without having to add sticks and sticks of butter. So I put a little olive oil really to keep my bacon from sticking. It's gonna render down. It takes a couple of minutes, so we're gonna let that happen. And then I have 1 small onion, and I have 2 shallots, actually 3 shallots. And I've got 5 mini peppers. Okay, so we have a wooden spoon. You gotta have a wooden spoon if you got a cast iron pot. And again, I'm just letting this bacon render. Unlike with baking, I'll tell you right now, when I cook, I don't measure very much. And so I'm gonna give you general measurements. You have to taste your food as you cook. The only way to know if your food is good is if you try it. Don't feed people something you haven't tasted. That's how you forget to put in salt and pepper. I've got onions and shallots and red peppers. I'm gonna turn my fire down a little. I've got it on about medium. When you eat with your eyes first. This dish is great for that because you've got a lot of color going on in there. So I've got a couple more peppers. I like to use these little mini peppers when we make a Maque Choux. because I like all the colors, but these are a little bit sweeter than the big ones. You're not gonna cook the peppers all the way down like you would in a soup or a gumbo. You want some crunchiness in there. You want to taste that freshness in there. I'm gonna add the corn that I cut. Excuse my mess on the other side. Okay. This is natural sea salt. I'm not putting very much at this point because remember your bacon is salty. And then right before we finish, we're gonna add crawfish. Crawfish are lower in sodium than shrimp are. We're gonna use, and the crawfish that we're using is from Delcom, Louisiana, which is a huge hub for seafood in Louisiana. But we use Louisiana Seafood Direct out of Delcom. They have small fishermen who provide their product, and they have a fantastic product. One of the fishermen that they get supplied from is, their boat is called Jessica Gale, and it's Jessica Gale Seafood. And we know them from when we do pop-ups at the farmer's market. And this seafood literally comes from the Gulf to the bag to you. There's no middle person. It's not brokered around. It's as fresh as you can get. But anyway, here's the rest of my corn. Bob did a great job shucking corn for me. And I think I have enough. So I'm putting these cobs in here. I'm gonna add some white wine. And I'm gonna go until it's about halfway, it's about halfway up the side. I added the corn cobs because the milk from the corn a lot of it is still in the cobs, so you get a lot more corn flavor if you add the cobs in. They're not gonna stay in forever. We're gonna basically let that steam, and I'm gonna add some vegetable broth in here. And I'm gonna turn my fire up. And we're gonna let this go for about 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna add some fresh garlic, a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. We like garlic, so I always add a lot of garlic. You don't have to add. That's what's great about this. If you see something that I add and you go, I don't even like that, don't add it. It's fine. I'm probably not gonna come to your house and check to see what you're doing. So whatever makes you happy and sets you free, do that in your food and make your life easier. So we have corn cobs, we have corn, we have rice, we have vegetable stock. Sounds crazy, it's gonna be delicious. And then we have Zatarain's cayenne pepper. And I grew up with Zatarain's. I don't know if you can make Cajun food without Zatarain's. I'm not sure. Mr. Zatarain, keep doing what you're doing. Okay, so I added about, I don't know, a half a teaspoon of Zatarain's because I don't want to blow everybody's head off either. And I'm gonna add some more herbs and spices. Now I do want to talk to y'all about the word spicy. The word spicy is used improperly, okay? Food from here and from the South in general, we say that our food is seasoned because we use herbs and spices and stuff, but other places, I don't know, don't do that as much as we do. So we season our food well, and I guess if you were doing, by definition, that makes it spicy, okay. But the reality is here, if you told somebody your food is spicy, they would look at you like you had just fallen out of a tree because nobody says that. So I put my Zatarain's. I'm gonna add smoked paprika, powdered garlic, herbe de Provence, dill and parsley, and thyme. I use burlap and barrel spices. They're all in here. I already measured them out. I like burlap and barrel because they buy the whole crop from small farmers, and when they sell out of those herbs, then they don't have any more until the next crop is harvested. So I like the freshness of their product. And here is Supreme Louisiana Crawfish. It's the best crawfish you can get. It's clean, it's healthy, it's from us. We love y'all, and we want you to try what we have over here. I'm about to take my corn out because you can see this is boiling on part of it. And you can see it looks like the corn is boiled, the corn cobs are, And it's because it's just a tiny bit of corn that was left on there, but we want every bit of the milk from the corn that we can get. This is a 1 cup measure, and so I'm gonna put in there the equivalent of 2 tablespoons, which is 1/8 of a cup. It's the one thing I will measure, because if you put too much cornstarch, it'll be goopy. So I'm gonna add some water in there and just go around with that and make a little slurry. That's all it is. Don't ever add cornstarch directly into something that's hot like this is, because it'll form a giant gloopy mess all at once. You always want to add some liquid. Ideally, you want to add some of the cooking liquid. So I'm going to just take a look. I mean, just use what you have. I'm going to add that in there. It's going to warm it up a little bit before I add it to the main pot. That's going to take a couple of minutes to tighten up. So now we're going to add our crawfish. You don't do that till the very end. Don't rinse your crawfish. You want the crawfish fat. When I was little, you could buy crawfish fat in cups at the store. You could get extra fat. And we got to laughing one day about that it was a shame you can't buy crawfish fat anymore. These crawfish are already steamed, so it's just going to take like 4 or 5 minutes at the most. You want it to heat up. Usually I grow thyme, and I have a lot of rosemary at my house, and I usually add fresh thyme and rosemary, but I forgot it. I was out of time. Get it? Out of time. I like bad jokes. So what we're doing right now is I'm adding some lemon zest. That will pop up your crawfish flavor. And it also actually helps with your salt. Lemon and lime will give you the flavor of salt without adding salt. Okay, now we got to taste this and see how we're doing so far. All right, let's see. Needs a little salt. But see, I've waited until the end. All my other herbs are right. So I'm not adding, I probably added maybe a half a teaspoon. Now there's one other thing that I do. I'm turning the fire back down. A lot of times people make this with butter. So I wait till the very end, and when it's a sauce like this, or even an étouffée, at the very end of the cooking, I add a pat of butter. That's it. That's it. All I'm adding is flavor. I'm adding a minuscule amount of fat, because you have to remember, this is enough to feed 4 to 6 people at least. We're doing fresh and dried herbs. We're doing as much as we can to bolster that other flavor, but not to compete with it. We want everything to make the crawfish as good as it can be, make the corn as fresh as it can be. And so that's why you add usually what grows with it. There was someone who said if it grows together, it goes together. So crawfish are usually grown in rice fields. They're companion crops. The crawfish eat the stalks of the rice plants. And so that the two work together very well. You see a lot of Louisiana farmers that also have crawfish farms in the same place. And they were very industrious, those Acadians. I'm going to tell you, they did some pretty great stuff. And that's the thing. This is a dish that when people, even small children, you put in front of them, it just looks so fresh and inviting. It's hard for people to turn it down. Now, if you were having this for company, I would have taken those bits of bacon out. I made this kind of home style, how we make it at home, and I tend to leave the bacon in, probably because I have giant boys to feed all the time, and as much as I can get in there, I leave. But it's a pound of crawfish, I think 5 or 6 ears of corn, 2 shallots, an onion, and the equivalent of 1.5 bell peppers. And then 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch. I added half a bottle of wine. Nobody's fussing about that. If you don't drink wine, don't worry about it. Use more vegetable broth or seafood broth. If you're my hero person, you may actually have a cube of seafood stock in your freezer. You can use any of those things. You just want to be able to have it so that you can add enough liquid to come right to the top of your vegetables, and then when it reduces down with the cornstarch, you're left with like more like a little gravy, but you don't want it to be just dry. It should not be dry. So I've turned the fire off, and I'm gonna put some on a plate, and you guys will see what it's all about. Okay, so we've got our plate mostly served. So we've got, you see, just, I don't know, maybe a cup of Maque Choux on our plate. And then if you want, you can add, if you want to be kind of fancy, or a lot of people eat theirs with rice. So I'm going to put a little scoop of rice right on top. And then we'll just top it off with a little bit more. And there you go. You put some gravy. We all need a little gravy. Oh, I bet y'all would like to know how to make rice and gravy. I'll show you that another time. This is a cassava flatbread that we made in another video. And so this one has herbs and garlic. Obviously it's cool because I'm holding it right here. So I'm gonna cut it in quarters like that. And then we're gonna take some Maque Choux, and this one will be without rice. And we'll put that in here, okay? And then I'm going to take a paper towel, because every now and then I have type A tendencies. And I'm going to clean the inside of my bowl so that it's pretty. And then we're going to take our little bread and serve it comme ça. And then you have, there you go, a little fresh bread with a fresh Maque Choux. It's all ready to go. And it's great for people who maybe don't like rice but want a little bread with it. And you have that quick flatbread you can make, and everything's freshly made that day. So I think that's it. Y'all enjoy. Thanks.